Joseph Dave Gomez. Liverpool's number 2 has endured a torrid time in the last couple of seasons, with injuries preventing him really developing from what was a brilliantly bright start in his career. He is now at a crossroads. I'm Chris Stonadge, this is the Stonadge channel, and this is what we're going to discuss today. But before we do that, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to us. We're trying to hit 2k as soon as we can, so we're on a brilliant upward trajectory. Let's keep it going. But anyway, back to the video. So, Joe Gomez arrived at Liverpool from Charlton as a burly 18-year-old for just over £2 million. Gomez actually made his debut as that 18-year-old against Stoke City in a 1-0 victory, a game in which Bobby Firmino and James Milner also made their Liverpool debuts, and started very, very well under Brendan Rodgers that season, originally as a left-back before suffering the first of 3 long-term injuries. This injury would keep him out continuously through Jurgen Klopp's first season in charge before making a return midway through his second campaign in charge. This is then before in 2017-18 picking up a rotational right-back role with Trent Alexander-Arnold, but it was always desired and known that Joe Gomez was going to be a centre-back. And that is exactly what he became, partnering Virgil van Dijk in 2018-19 in what could have been and what looked like one of the most formidable centre-back partnerships in the country, and it was. Joe Gomez only played 16 games in 2018-19. It was at the start of when Liverpool were playing really, really well in that 18-19 campaign. 2019-20 heralded a much bigger improvement for Gomez. He actually played 28 games in this campaign, which is the most he ever has done in a Premier League campaign for Liverpool. Liverpool went on to win the league title, and he once again formed that formidable partnership with Virgil van Dijk, once keeping 10 clean sheets in 11 games. And in 2020-21, it all seemed to be going smoothly too. Despite the fact that Virgil van Dijk picked up a long-term injury, it looked like Joe Gomez would finally become that senior centre-back, because he'd always been partnered with Van Dijk, so he never really was tested before he suffered another freak injury, this time on international duty again. This kept him out until the start of 2021-22. Last season he stayed vastly injury-free but didn't actually get the opportunities he needed, and then this season he had a real struggle to get into the side. And when he did, he made countless mistakes. So there's just a brief history of Joe Gomez at Liverpool, and as you can see, it's partnered with really good moments and really bad moments. And I'd say now in his current form, he is a good centre-back for a Premier League team. However, that Premier League team being Liverpool, his mistakes and his shortcomings get highlighted. Who can forget that mistake against Leeds United this season, which was like very, very close to an unbelievably mammoth performance against Man City. He's a hot and cold player, which he never used to be as a younger player, which is very, very strange. And it's starting to reminisce with Liverpool fans that despite Gomez signing a long-term contract with the club, maybe his time to leave the club will come sooner than expected. It looks like now Liverpool are going to that 3-2-5 system for keeps though, and moving Trent Alexander-Arnold into that right central midfield role. He does need good cover on that right-hand side. Now, this seems like the most perfect role for Joe Gomez, and this is why I think there potentially could be a future for Joe Gomez at Liverpool Football Club, and that is in that right centre-back role as cover for Ibrahima Konate, who himself suffers with injuries on a regular basis. Gomez has played right-back, has played centre-back, and has completely done well in a lot of times. In a lot of big games, Joe Gomez has played really, really well. As mentioned, that Manchester City game. And that right-back and centre-back hybrid role could be the one that reignites him. However, it does seem like his defensive awareness, as well as his pace, has taken a battering. I still think he's a good physical athlete, but I don't think he's brave enough in the challenge, because naturally, psychologically, you won't be. He's trying to protect his body, and that is a really, really frightening thing. He hasn't really quite got the awareness of Virgil van Dijk to be able to be in those positions and not throw your body everywhere. He has to be somewhat like Konate in being really strong in the challenge. I don't think he has that in his locker anymore. So the only way I can really see Joe Gomez playing for Liverpool on a regular basis again is in this squad role. But what would the future hold for Gomez elsewhere? I mean, realistically, as I say, he's an English centre-back. He's still only 26 years old. He's not even anywhere close to his prime for a defender yet. You're looking 3 or 4 more years. I think there is still time. Let's not forget that this man is probably 23 in his age. A mixture between, someone who's older because he's suffered so much injuries and someone who's younger because he hasn't had the chance to develop yet. I still think there's a chance that Joe Gomez could be available to become a deluxe squad player for Liverpool. Much like some people are saying now we should go and sign Kyle Walker. I made a video on it myself. Or some people should say go and sign Benjamin Pavard. Be this centre-back, full-back hybrid to let Trent Alexander-Arnold flow in midfield. And I think it could be very likely that Gomez goes and does this. It's a shame that we haven't seen the Van Dijk-Gomez partnership that we thought was going to be at Liverpool for 10 years, unbroken, unwavering, physically demanding, physically dominant. Obviously, injuries have got in the way of that, and it's really not fair. He's one dramatically unlucky footballer, Joe Gomez. But he's somebody who seriously has the ability to offer that at the top level still. We've gone through his story today. We've seen, you know, there's been spells where he's been the best defender in England. And that's better than Van Dijk on occasion. Especially, you know, some of the start of 18-19, I thought Joe Gomez was sublime. Absolutely sublime. And I know that's 5 years ago, and I know it's a real stretch to say that he is anywhere near the player he was. And I'm not trying to say he will be, but I'm still trying to say there will be improvement from Gomez from what we've seen this season. And I also think that with the Europa League comes a huge opportunity for Gomez. Again, a lot of these fringe players have the chance to showcase why they should be in the first team with their performances in this tournament. The Champions League's a bit too much to risk, but with potentially lesser teams being played, Joe Gomez is still a leader in this club. You know, he's been through so much. He's been at the club for a long, long time. He's somebody who will probably captain the side in these tournaments. Now, whether he has ambition to go and play first team football, which I think he should, is another matter. Whereabouts would he do that? There has been rumours that Newcastle have been interested in him. I think they should probably aim higher now. They're a Champions League club. Maybe somewhere like Crystal Palace or Brighton, or Fulham, somewhere like this, I think would be sort of his true level to be a first team, like the first name on the team sheet. But as a squad option at Liverpool, I'm absolutely okay with that with this season and going forward. Let's not forget that dreaded homegrown rule as well. Joe Gomez is a huge part for that for Liverpool. They need players who are English and can contribute. Not every player is going to be a star player. Not every player is going to push so hard that they'll get so angry and frustrated, because that is not how a squad works. I really, really hope that Joe Gomez, although he has ambitions of potentially going to play for England again and playing first team football, that he just rides out a little bit for now, because Konate will have injuries. Gomez is good cover in that position, however much our fans may like that or not, because I genuinely believe in Gomez. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It's a really interesting one because I'm having to balance sort of personal opinion and logic. Logic's telling me that there's no way we should keep Joe Gomez. Personal opinion is telling me I think there's still a chance. And I had this feeling predominantly for the likes of Mane when he was on a real bad spell. I don't have that feeling for Fabinho, if I'm being honest. But I had this feeling for Curtis Jones. I also had this feeling for Oxlade-Chamberlain, so that shows you how it can go wrong. I may be wrong, but let me know what you think in the comments below. I still think it's a debate worth having. I still think it's something that will divide some Liverpool fans. Maybe I'm in the minority. I'd like to know. Let me know in the comments below about Joe Gomez. I'm Chris Stonadge. This is the Stonadge channel. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.